Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. A writer, dramatist, and blunt dissident, James Baldwin stirred things up with his sharp bits of knowledge about race, character, and the human condition. Today we uncover the untold story of James Baldwin, from the early battles that molded his words to the baffling conditions encompassing his demise. We'll likewise investigate his deserted house, once an image of his imagination and mind, and uncover the heritage he abandoned, both in writing and in the abundance he gathered. Go along with us as we investigate the life and enduring effect of James Baldwin, a man whose impact keeps on reverberating even as the full story of his life remains covered in secret. James Baldwin, the famous American essayist and common privileges lobbyist, had total assets of $100,000 at the hour of his demise in 1987, an unassuming total contrasted with a significant number of his peers. Anyway, his inheritance rises above financial worth as his commitments to writing and social equity remain endless. Baldwin's works frequently investigate the intricacies of race, class, and, furthermore, sexuality, reshaping social accounts and rousing ages. His 1953 novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, was hailed by Time magazine as one of the 100 biggest English-language books, solidifying his place in scholarly history. Similarly, effective was his Notes of a Local Child, which laid out him as a main voice for equity and basic freedoms. Past his compositions, Baldwin turned into a compelling figure during the social liberties development's spellbinding crowds. As a strong speaker who supported equity and respect for all, James Baldwin, born on August 2, 1924, in New York City, arose as one of the most significant voices of the 20th century, utilizing his composition to uncover the profound injuries of prejudice and imbalance in America. His initial life in Harlem formed a lot of his perspective and scholarly voice, raised by his mom. Emma Burtis Jones Baldwin never knew his natural dad. In 1927, his mom hitched David Baldwin, a worker and Baptist evangelist. Baldwin took his stepfather's family name and experienced childhood in a family clamoring with 8 half-kin. This enormous, complex family dynamic assumed a critical part in Baldwin's initial years. Baldwin's relationship with his stepfather was loaded with strain. David Baldwin saw James' affection for books and motion pictures with doubt, dreading they would risk his profound salvation. In spite of this, Baldwin's scholarly interest and artistic ability, he early on upheld his loved ones, frequently shuffling work with school obligations, an unquenchable peruser. Baldwin consumed works by Dewey and Dickens while still in grade school. Educators immediately perceived his ability for composing, empowering him to create his art during his teen years. Baldwin's reality extended altogether at D.T. Clinton Secondary School, a prevalently white and Jewish establishment in the Bronx. Baldwin joined the school magazine, distributing early bits of geniuses in verse. At the same time, he turned out to be profoundly engaged with religion teaching at Pentecostal temples across New York City, a period he later depicted as both groundbreaking and turbulent. However, he left school in 1941 to assist with supporting his family. His enthusiasm for writing remained unfaltering. Baldwin took on different positions, counting meat, pressing, and preparing for the military, yet he was constantly moved back to composing. When Baldwin came to adulthood, the racial bias he saw and experienced in America left him disappointed. This dissatisfaction finished in his choice to leave the U.S. in 1948, looking for comfort and motivation in Paris. Baldwin's years in the French capital were set apart by battle and innovativeness. He lived in a progression of unassuming facilities, frequently depending on the benevolence of companions, yet this period too brought him into contact with compelling figures like John Paul S.R.A. Truman Overcoat and Simone de Beauvoir, submerged in the scholarly and creative culture of the left. Bank. Baldwin distributed a few early expositions, Remembering the Negro, for Paris, The Conservation of Blamelessness, and The Demise of the Prophet. These compositions laid the establishment for his abstract profession. In 1953, he delivered his most memorable novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, a semi-self-portraying investigation of confidence, family, and character. 3 years later, he distributed Giovanni's Room, a pivotal work tending to subjects of homosexuality and cultural dismissal. Baldwin got back to New York in 1957, when the social liberties development was picking up speed, profoundly moved by the battles of African Americans. He turned into a candid advocate for fairness, loaning his voice also pen to the reason. During this period, he distributed a portion of his most celebrated works, including Another Country, 1962, and Let Me Know How Long the Train's Been Gone, 1968. His last book, If Beale Road Could Talk, 1974, and Simply Over My Head, 1979, proceeded with his investigation of affection, race, and human versatility. Past books, Baldwin's productive result included articles, plays, and coordinated efforts. His articles specifically state original works of American writing offering, burning investigations of fundamental bigotry and genuine reflections on character. Baldwin drews motivation from a wide exhibit of specialists and dreams, including painter Bordelaine, essayist Richard Wright, and social symbols like Nina Simone and Maya Angelou. These connections enhanced his viewpoint, developing comprehension. He might interpret workmanship's ability to challenge treachery. Land in New York City. Baldwin's home at 137 West 71 Strode, situated in the core of Manhattan's Upper West Side, is perceived as a site of critical, social, and authentic esteem. The house is recorded on the Public Register of Notable Places, and Baldwin's critical job in progressing social equality and his commitments to LGBT history. While this assignment jelly, the structure's inheritance, the home remains exclusive and isn't open to the general population, keeping up with its calm respect in the midst of a clamoring metropolitan climate. Prior to choosing the Upper West Side, Baldwin lived in Greenwich Town, an area known for its energetic, imaginative local area and moderate air. His home at 81 Horatio Road remains as an image of his imaginative period during the late 1950s and early 1960s. In December 1957, in the wake of getting back from his most memorable excursion to the American South, where he saw the thriving social equality development, Baldwin marked a rent for the Horatio Road loft. By April 1958, he had moved in and started work on his third original, Another Nation. This historic book, which investigated complex topics of race, sexuality, and character, was generally composed inside these walls. Baldwin lived here until 1961. Throughout the many years, 81 Horatio Road went through critical changes, reflecting both its verifiable importance and present-day plan sensibilities. A 2003 redesign re-established a portion of the structure's unique compositional highlights, including the brownstone steps and a reproduced molding that was designed according to a making-do model from the neighboring structure. By 2013, an additional extensive redesign was embraced by Daniel Romali's engineers, changing over the design into two separate homes. A first-floor duplex. What's more, a higher-up duplex. The insides were modernized with lavish contacts while holding the structure's authentic person. Key highlights incorporate an open kitchen with marble ledges and tempered steel machines, more than adequate regular light all through. Room total with a chimney. The main restroom gloats a marble tub, graceful accents wrap around windows neglecting the high line, and a staggering bay window that occupies the space with normal light in acknowledgement of Baldwin's time at 81 Horatio Road and his more extensive commitments to writing, also social liberties. This plaque celebrates Baldwin's years in the area and fills in as a sign of the significant impact he had on American culture. Today, the building remains as a recognition for Baldwin's persevering through heritage and his association with Greenwich Town, a local area that sustained his innovativeness and activism. Deserted house in St. Paul, Devance, France from 1971 to 1987, James Baldwin, the notable author and social pundit, made his home in the tranquil town of St. Paul-de-Vence in the south of France. This beautiful area turned into the setting for Shia Baldwin's own asylum and inventive sanctuary. The property, a fantastic stone house set in the midst of moving plant life, was something other than a home. It was an energetic social center that drew craftsmen, authors, and learned people from across the globe. With its approximately 12 rooms, an open studio, and sections of lavish land, the bequest mirrored Baldwin's diverse life and work. Baldwin's decision to go to St. Paul imprints was conscious, distant from the racial pressures and cultural tensions of the U.S. This peaceful area furnished him with the isolation vital for his composition. What's more, The opportunity to live straightforwardly as a dark gay man. In December 1987, Baldwin died at his Darling home, abandoning a heritage that had changed writing and social analysis. Anyway, the tale of Shea Baldwin didn't end with his passing. A legitimate disagreement about the responsibility for property emerged among Bearwise heirs, and the result of this fight denoted a shocking part in the historical backdrop of the home. Eventually, the house was crushed to clear a path for extravagance. A loss, a choice that eradicated an actual image of Baldwin's life and the social inheritance he developed their individual life. Thanks for watching this video.